Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our live for this afternoon. My name is Michelle Samuel, and I am one of the three member persons of the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition National Committee, and I'm very pleased to be with you this afternoon for this momentous occasion. For those of you who do not know, Sludterra is the host of the national awardees. We normally provide, or should I say, host an awards ceremony to celebrate the writers who would have achieved gold, silver, and bronze in the annual Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. And just to give you some feedback as to who Sludterra is, Sludterra is a private social enterprise and entrepreneurship support organization sourcing, connecting, and empowering through education, training, and entrepreneurship. The programs and initiatives, or the platform of programs and initiatives that we provide, cater to our youth, the unemployed, and entrepreneurs. We work in collaboration with individual entrepreneurs, businesses, units of government, educational institutions, labor, and community based organizations. And I'm the founder and president of this organization, and I am very pleased to be part of the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition on an annual basis. Aside from my role as the founder and president of the host organization, I am also one of the junior judges of the annual competition. So, yes, I do have certain insight as to what the judges are looking for when these young writers present their pieces of written work as well as artwork. So, for today, we are going to officially launch the 2022 theme and topics for the competition. Now, before I go ahead, I would just like to say a very special thank you to the Royal Commonwealth Society, who is the organizer of the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. Without that society, the competition would not exist. I would also like to thank the committee each year for extending this invitation to me to sit on their judging panel for the junior category. And I have done this 3 years in a row. I actually had an accomplishment or made a milestone by being the first St. Lucian and the first junior judge in the region to be invited to Buckingham Palace by the Queen to attend the competition awards finals. And that was in the year 2019. Unfortunately, I did not attend, as of course, I did have previous engagements and responsibilities as a parent. So I'm sure you all can understand that. But I was very grateful for the honor to have been invited to the palace to be part of such a momentous occasion. But today is not about me, and today is not about Sludterra. Today is about our young writers. And I am hoping that joining us on our live, whether you're watching on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on YouTube, that you are encouraging young persons like yourself, ages 18 years and younger, to come in and watch this live so that you can be part of this launch and that you can be part of this movement of generation of creative writers about societal issues. I would also like to encourage principals of various schools on the island, as well as ministerial heads of department, to join in the live and encourage persons to view, to watch, to listen, and to learn about the opportunities that come with being in this competition. I will be joined in by two of my colleagues in the committee, and I'm going to bring one of them on at this time. So the young lady that I'm going to bring on, Her name is Mylika. I will have her say hello to you. Hi, Mylika. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good.
Excellent. And can you please briefly introduce yourself, Mylika?
Hi, everybody. My name is Malika Amide. Um, uh, so much to say about myself. I'm just honored to be here today and participating in this great venture to find our next Nobel laureate. You trying to say
And it's as simple as that. She is excited to be part of this journey. Now, if in case you hear any background noise, that is because it's raining very heavily where I am, and where I am, there it gets very windy. So, if in case you do hear any background noise, that is what you're hearing. So, I'm hoping that it's bright and sunny where you are. But if it's not, don't fret. After the rain must come the sun.
sunshine?
That's right, the sunshine. So that's what we have to look forward to in a few minutes because I'm sure it's going to clear up soon. And if it doesn't, just enjoy the rain. Enjoy the rain. It's a godsend. The rain gives us water. The water feeds our plants. And you know how the cycle goes. All right. So we have one more member who will be joining us very shortly. I'm sure she's trying to log in because she was here earlier, but then unfortunately she got kicked out. So I'm sure she will be joining us very, very soon. Okay, so without further ado, what we are going to do is we're going to be playing a video which shows a few messages from previous authors as well as judges. And you will hear from some of the winners in the finals from the competition. You're also going to be hearing from the Duchess of Cornwall, who is the matron or the person in charge of overseeing the competition on an annual basis. You will be hearing from her. After which, we will be making a brief presentation on the competition itself, this year's theme, as well as the topics for both the junior and the senior categories. Okay, and of course, my fellow colleagues will be assisting me in telling you what those topics are. After which, we're going to officially introduce you to our local event page. And that is the website and Facebook page that we're going to encourage you to visit, take a look, because on this website, you will get to see who our previous winners have been over the years. St. Lucia has produced some amazing and fantastic writers. I mean, does anybody remember Sir Derek Walcott? Can anybody remember him? Do you even know who he is? And I am sure that after Sir Derek Walcott, we will be able to find the next Nobel laureate in literature. I have every confidence in that. Right, Mel?
Yes, we do.
That's right. Okay, so without further ado, I am now going to draw your attention to the video that we're about to play so that you can get to know a little bit about the competition from participants and also from previous judges. We will be with you in a moment. Please watch the video.
This year, Her Majesty the Queen will mark her Platinum Jubilee and celebrate 70 years as head of the Commonwealth. The Queen's 7 decades of service is inspirational. It's an example of the contribution we can make in our own communities.
Through the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition, each year, young people like me get the opportunity to explore and engage with issues that matter most today.
Proudly delivered by the Royal Commonwealth Society since 1883. The theme of the 2022 competition is Our Commonwealth, focusing on service, following the Queen's example.
In this special year, young people are invited to write about the value of serving our communities wherever we are in the Commonwealth.
As Vice Patron of the Royal Commonwealth Society, I'm delighted to announce the launch of the 2022 competition. Your powerful stories, essays, poetry and letters from around the Commonwealth never fail to bring us together as a community. I look forward to reading this year's winning entries and encourage all of you to put your thinking caps on and get writing.
Okay, so you heard the vice patron. She says to get writing. Now, of course, you would have seen or heard a snippet of what our theme for this year would have been, but we're going to go a little more in depth about the competition for this year and what it is that you are to expect. That is our writers who are 18 years of age and younger. So we will be making a presentation on this information. Please, again, I ask that you draw your attention to the screen so that we can share this information with you. Mel, can you please be my eyes and let me know when you can actually see?
I can see.
All right,
Oh,
awesome. So if you can see, that means our viewers can see as well. Okay. All right, let's go. So, the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition 2022 does an opportunity, well, I should say, gives an opportunity to have your creative voice heard across the world excite you? Are you inspired by your community's response to a challenging year? Do you want to express your experience or visions for the future to a global audience? What is the QCEC, which is an acronym for Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition? So it started 139 years ago. That's a long time. It is the world's oldest international writing competition for schools, one of the largest creative writing program for under 18s, inviting entries from all 54 nations of the Commonwealth, an opportunity for young people to share their views and experiences on a global platform. What is the Royal Commonwealth Society, which of course I mentioned before? It's an international network of individuals and organizations committed to improving the lives and prospects of Commonwealth citizens across the world. It promotes the value and values of the Commonwealth through youth empowerment, education, and advocacy. Our patron is Her Majesty the Queen, head of the Commonwealth, and our vice patron is Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall. So, Malika, could you please take over with this slide?
did you mean for your slides to change because it hasn't? Yeah? It's stuck on the first one. Are you hearing me?
Sorry, can you repeat?
I said it's well, I have mine open, but your slides are stuck on the first one. Is that how it's supposed to be?
Are you seeing what's on the screen?
Yes, yes, the first one. The one that says there's the opportunity to have.
Oh, okay. I need to see if something is going on. I want to make sure that everyone can see what is happening on my screen. I want to make sure that everything is sharing effectively. So, what slide are you seeing right now, Malika?
The first slide is still showing.
It's only showing the first slide.
Mhm.
I've been reading a couple of slides now. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Um, and then see if this can be fixed. One moment. Okay. One moment. Okay, it does actually show. Ah, all right. So I'm going to stop sharing from my end. Okay. And let's try this again. Mel, and please let me know
Yeah.
what you're seeing
Yeah.
because I since I can't see both places.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, all right, here we go. Okay, so let me know when you can see the screen being shared.
I'm seeing the screen being shared. Yes.
Okay, so let's try this again and see what happens. Okay, tell me what you see. It's still just showing the first slide.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I will have to look into this quickly. Okay, let's try this one last time. And hopefully all will go well. Because what I want you to see is the PowerPoint. So let me know when you can see the actual PowerPoint itself.
I'm seeing it.
You're seeing it now?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Excellent.
A while ago you were
The
sharing the
wonder.
screen, but not the power.
Ah, yes. The wonders of technology. Okay. So, of course, I would have gone through the first
Three
set of
slides.
slides. Um, so,
Now we have it. Yay.
here you go. So, this is where you'd be taking over, Mel.
Why should you enter?
Oh,
Speak
and
out and
please be
heard.
sure to mention juniors or seniors. It's very important you mention
Ah,
that, please.
okay, okay. I see. Okay, we're speaking about the juniors. Why should juniors enter this competition? To speak out and be heard. Your words will be listened to by a global audience. Use your most limitless tool, your imagination. Your ideas can change the world. Share your unique experience. Tell the world how your local community responds to global issues. And to predict the future, paint your own individual vision for the future. Yeah, yeah. Want me to continue? Hello, can you hear me?
You're not seeing the slide?
That's it.
No, you're not seeing the slide?
Yeah, I'm seeing the slide. I've been reading. You not hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. So why did you stop?
Oh, okay. That's where it ends. That's where the slide ends, Michelle.
Okay, I'll continue. Okay, so seniors, why should you enter? So the first slide was talking about juniors, but
Ah, you
this
did
slide is
change.
talking about seniors. So seniors, you speak out and be heard. Your voice will be listened to by a global audience. Get involved. Your input could influence a better future across 54 countries. Share your unique experience. Tell the world how your local community responds to global issues, very similar to the juniors. But this time they're asking you to be a mover and a shaker. So the seniors, you are to challenge the norms and paint your visions for the future. Generate exciting career opportunities. I'm sure you never thought of that when talking about a competition, right? Start by actively participating in social issues. Okay, so let's take a look at the skills that our seniors would develop. Malika, can you take this slide, please?
And so the skills that you will be developing for this competition would be creative writing, creative written English and storytelling, critical thinking skills to reflect to their local and international world, thinking creatively and empathizing with other people's experiences, gaining confidence to share ideas with thousands of readers across the globe, and experimenting freely with the different genres and forms of writing.
There we go. And the four tiles, of course, would reiterate what we would have said. So celebrate young writers. We want to do that. And this is why Sludterra hosts the National Award Ceremony every year. Develop literacy skills. Yes, in writing, especially in the written word, you get to develop your skills in spelling because I'm sure some of you may have challenges or may have had challenges in the past with your spelling. And writing is a good way to practice that. Recognize achievement. You would never understand or know how you feel about a particular topic until you write about it and then read what you have written. Something happens when someone expresses how they feel through the written word. It evokes emotion. Okay. And of course, inspire creative writing. By writing on certain topics and themes, you're able to think about societal issues, things that are happening in your community, things that are happening in communities nearest to you, and to take a deeper and closer look at what is the root of this societal problem, who are the persons contributing to this societal problem, and who are the ones trying to solve those societal issues, and write about it. It's basically a way of your opinion and your voice being added to what is going on right now. However, you're giving a spin to it from your perspective, and others are reading it. So it's a great way to inspire your creative writing. And I'm going to just admit one of my colleagues who just joined us. Just give me a moment while I add her um, to our meeting so that she can join us on screen. All right, so here we have my colleague, Miss Perlina Murray. So she is joining us for this launch. All right, so let's go back to our presentation. Okay, so Malika, could you tell our young people what they could win?
Yes, I can do that. I wish it was me winning those things. The winners of this competition and the runners up are brought to London for a Winners Week, a program of cultural and educational activities, typically including an award ceremony at Buckingham Palace. Winners Week is different each year, but past activities have included creative writing workshops with well-known authors, a visit to Cambridge University, exploring the sights of London and with boat tours of the River Thames, activities, and evening productions at some of London's oldest theatres, and visiting a dream location such as Harry Potter's world. I want to be a kid again.
That sounds like a lot of fun. But in addition to that, every young person who enters receives a certificate of participation. So the top awards are usually gold, gold finalists, silver, and bronze. If you do not attain those top awards, you will receive a certificate of participation. Though your scores did not qualify you for the top rounds, you are still being recognized for participating. So everyone receives a certificate of participation if they do not attain the top awards. Okay, so let's take a closer look at what happens outside of the competition, right? So in terms of where your writing will be shared, and these are the winners, right? So the winning entries are published in The Voices. It is a well known newspaper magazine, or should I say, society's magazine, and in the online blog of the Royal Commonwealth Society. World Reader, and turned into an ebook and uploaded to World Reader. Can you imagine other people reading your work as an ebook? That's exciting to say that, hey, I am a writer, right? And of course, you get to read, and it is broadcasted by influential and well known Commonwealth figures. And those are published authors and writers as well. So these are some exciting, perks that the winning entries receive. Okay. Now, when I say winning entries, I'm talking about those entries that are from each of the categories. So there's a top winner and a runner up from the junior category, and a top winner and a runner up from the senior category. So four winners in total are selected every year, and they are the ones who benefit from those perks that I just mentioned. Okay. So it
And I said,
all
so I just
starts
share.
a story. So the quote is, keep writing, it will change your life, and you can change the world. And that quote came from Mei Fong, the Pulitzer Prize winner and 1989 QCEC winner. So take a closer look at that accomplishment there, Malika, and everyone else. Take a really close look. So she started as the 1989 Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition winner. Everybody saw that, right? That's where she started. However, she then progressed into this award, which is the Pulitzer Prize. And this is a top award for writers. If you know writers and journalists, and if you are in that industry, you know how sought after this prize really is. So this is where she started, and this is where she has now arrived at. So what we're saying to you is, you can move mountains, and you can climb out of those valleys that you think you're in, and your writing can take you places. Look at all the movies that we watch. All of these movies started with what? A script. And what is a script? Writing.
Writers.
Every single movie, documentary, series, soaps, everything you see on television was written by someone. And it is a very profitable and very lucrative business. So if you were to hear someone say, writing doesn't pay the bills and writing doesn't make money, what do you think you should say to that person? Mel, what do you think? What do you think
I
they
think they
should
needed
say
to
to that
join. I
person
think they needed
if they say
they
writing doesn't make
needed to
money?
join this writers forum. They need to
Yeah,
join the
because
Commonwealth essay writing competition.
you can give them evidence after evidence of successful things that have happened as a result of writing. So,
Yes,
writing
yes.
can make a difference. It can and it does. Okay? So, let us move on. All right. So, just trying to get the presentation to move forward a bit so that we can continue. Oh no. All right, here we go.
So
Perlina, are you with us? Because I'm not seeing you on camera. Are you with us? Okay, maybe she stepped away from her device. So, Mel, can you share with our viewers and listeners what our theme for this year is and the concept behind it?
Okay, our 2022 theme, our Commonwealth. This year's theme is our Commonwealth. In 2022, Her Majesty, the Queen, will celebrate 70 years as a head of Commonwealth. Can you imagine that? 70 years in a position? Wow. The Queen, even the Queen's 7 decades of service to the Commonwealth are an inspiring example of the steadfast commitment and important contribution we can all make to our society. Young people are asked to reflect on inspirational leadership and to explore the positive impact that can be achieved through commitment to their communities. The junior category, under 14 years of age, with a word count of 750 words. The topics are, the categories are, sorry. Imagine you are a grandparent in 2022. Wow. Tell your grandchildren a bedtime story about an inspirational person. You write about me, just saying. What are, number two, what are the best ways for young people to serve the Commonwealth in your view? And number three, our Commonwealth community. Number four, write a job description for a superhero needed to solve a problem in your community. I think everybody might go for this one.
Okay, so let's pause a little bit to talk about those topics under this category. So just so that all of you fully understand this, right? So if you are under the age of 14, so this means there is no starting age. Okay, so we
Wow.
cannot tell you the entry is age 5 or the entry is age 6. No, any age below the age under the age of 14, you are eligible. These are your topics. Okay, so I want you to use your imagination. Now I know for these young little ones, they like to use a lot of creativity, they like to use color, and they like to use graphics. As a judge, and especially as a junior judge, I'm giving you a heads up. We welcome graphics. When I say graphics, we're looking at your coloring. If you want to add colorful images to your writing and colorful images to your poems or to your short stories or to your letters, however you decide to present it to us, we want to see your creativity. If you're talking about a person or if you're talking about an animal, draw a picture of that animal on the document. We want to see that. We want to see your creativity shine through because you're young and you're creative. Yes. So you can write letters, you can write a short play, you can write a short story, you can write an argument. Imagine that. So you can write an argument. However, you decide to present your topic, I highly encourage you to add that with some coloring and some photos that and some images that you yourself would have drawn and colored. Okay, it really adds a bit of character and it adds a lot of visual interest to your pieces. It really does. It makes it fun for us to read them. So I'm looking forward to seeing some even more creative pieces this year from our St. Lucian writers, of both male and female, because we've seen a lot of young girls, but we want to see some boys. We want to see some young boys. I know we have some creative young boys out there. We want to see you write and, of course, show us your creative skills with your coloring. If you don't want to color, that's fine. If you don't want to draw, that's fine. But if you can, we're encouraging you to do that. Okay? Just a tip from the little junior judge over here. Just a tip. Okay? So let's go to our senior category, Mel.
Our senior category this year, the word count is 1,500. Imagine, number one, imagine you are a head of government delivering a speech to your counterparts at the Commonwealth Head of Government meeting.
Oh, Mel, are you there? I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Can
I thought we lost you.
you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. No. Imagine you are a head of government delivering a speech to your counterparts at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM acronym, in Rwanda. Write a speech that highlights that you believe should be a priority for collective action within the Commonwealth. Number two, committed to the Commonwealth. Number three, Her Majesty the Queen was born in the 20th century, a period that saw enormous social change driven by visionary and committed leaders. Reflect on an inspirational leader from this period. And number four, whilst experiences of the last year have been different across the Commonwealth, certain examples of courage, commitment, and selfless dedication to duty have been demonstrated in every Commonwealth nation and territory, notable by those working on the front line who have been delivering healthcare and other public services in their communities. Her Majesty the Queen, Commonwealth Day Message 2021. Imagine you are working on the front line. Write about your experience, explaining why you serve your community and why your service matters.
Wow. Let me just say that this one really, had me going there. It really does have me going. I'm looking at number 4, and if I was a senior, that's what I would
That's
write
what
on.
I write there.
That is what I would write on. Talking about working on the front line and what that experience was like, the nurses. So those people who are on the front line, who we're talking about are the nurses, the doctors, those persons who work on the ports of entry, especially the airports. They are the ones who handle or deal with these high risk cases or any of those COVID cases that come in. They are the first point of contact. So you would understand the amount of pressure that those people would have felt, having to, you know, encounter and, of course, interact with those persons who would have been infected, and sometimes not even knowing if those persons were infected, and knowing that they have to deal with these people every single day throughout the day, and then going home to their families hoping and praying that they did not catch what that person had. So you can imagine the amount of pressure and how overwhelmed those frontliners may have felt. Also the policemen, right? Those emergency crews from on the ambulance, they have to be speeding along the highways and the roads, to get to the crash site or to get to the site, to pick up the individual or individuals and take them swiftly, to the medical establishment or the hospital. And just imagine you're driving knowing that the person's life is hanging in the balance of how fast you can get there. Can you imagine how that person would feel? I'm sure you would have never thought about it that way. So, if I was a writer in the senior category, that is exactly what I would write about. Definitely that. And if you just happen to choose this particular topic, here's my advice. If you are not totally clear on what the experience was like, talk to them. Reach out to a nurse, reach out to a doctor, reach out to an EMT, right? Reach out to those police officers, those fire engine people. Reach out to them and ask them these questions. What was the experience like? Research.
Ima-
That's what we call
Imagine
research,
with being one
right?
of their parents, Michelle.
Yes, that
That would be a
too.
good time to interview your parents.
That will be a good time to have a sit down with mommy or daddy and say, Daddy, mommy, I know most times I don't really care much about what you do at work, but I have this project that I'm working on, and I really, really would like to know what it was like for you because I really want to win this. Okay. And just by having that conversation with your parent or parents, you could learn so much about what they go through at work while you're at school. You may have no clue what they're doing and see how much pressure that they're under. And that also allows you to empathize with them. So it's a really great conversation piece. So, I mean, this is just my recommendation. I'm not telling you what to write on, but I'm just saying that based on what we have experienced as a people here in St. Lucia, number four seems to be spot on, right? That's just for me. Okay. So these were our junior and senior categories. Now, as you would have seen, the word count is different and the nature of the topics are different, but the theme is the same. Keep that in mind. The theme is the same. So, whatever you are writing about, you need to mention the theme, right? Make sure you mention the theme in whatever it is that you're writing. Mention what the theme is, and the theme is our Commonwealth. So incorporate the theme into your writing. Don't leave it out because that is where the motivation is coming from. And then the topic is going to be on a specific item, right? But it's still related to the theme. So do not forget that when you are writing, okay? So that is 750 words for the junior and 1,500 words for the senior. Okay, now for the senior persons, I'm not saying that you can't draw and doodle and all of that. If you choose to, that's fine as well. But we just typically see that more in the junior category. Okay. All right. So let's move along. So let's take a look at a junior activity that can spark some interest in getting you, motivated, giving you something to write about. It's called Give Me Five. I kind of like that, that title, right? So the objective here is to practice planning stories and identifying key plot points. Now, for those of you who have challenge writing, we're talking about those that are under 14. This is a really great way to work around that, especially if you have challenges in writing your essays for school, because I know exams are around the corner. This is a great way to practice, right? Practice writing that and then write a masterpiece afterwards, right? So here it goes. One, start with a closed hand. So this is what a closed hand looks like, right? Closed hand or closed fist. Pick a story you know well. And when I say well, a story you can literally say it word for word from your head. That's a story you know well. And explain it to your partner in 5 points. You think that's challenging? You think you can do that? And the way you do that is for every point you make, you have to open a finger and open another finger, then the other finger, and then the other finger until you have 5 points in total. So your story should have 5 points. That's how brief it needs to be. Okay. And it actually helps you to keep your mind focused on what you want to say. Okay. Two, answer the magic 5 questions about the story you just told. Listen to these questions. And these questions actually help you to structure your paragraphs carefully and helping you to tell your story even better. So the first one is who's in the story, right? So when you're talking about a who, Malika, what is the word that we use in writing when talking about a who? It starts with C. Let's see if Malika knows. I'm putting her on the spot.
Yeah, because as a business owner, the first thing that came to my mind was customer, and I'm like, no.
I just had a mind that would have been the first word that would have come to your mind. But Okay, so I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. However, what I'm gonna say to you is it's not customer. You're not wrong. I'm not
It's
gonna say
not.
that you're wrong.
It's not. The champion, and
Okay?
it's not.
Because in your nature of work, that would be right. But for a writing piece, right? When you're looking at a written work, you are writing about someone or who is going to be in the story. There is a word
Characters,
that
characters,
generally
characters.
characters. There we go. She
I
got it.
got
She
it.
got it. She got it. She got it. She got it. So characters. Who are your characters? Who are they? Right? And when I say who, do they have names? Right? If you want to use names in your story, you can give them names. If you don't want to use names, that's fine. But you still need a who. So it could be the dog on the wall, the neighbor next door. And you can talk about the neighbor next door in the story. You don't even need to give a name, right? But that is your who. Is it going to be just one person or five persons or a community? Who's in the story? Next one is where does it take place? Where? Does it take place on land? And if it does take place on land, where exactly on land does it take place? Is it taking place at a community, at an event, at school, at the beach, at the in the river? Where is it taking place? If it's taking place in the air, is it taking place on a plane, right? Is it taking place in space? Where is it taking place in the air? If it's in on the sea, is it taking place on a boat, a cruise ship, or maybe even under the water in a submarine? Or maybe you are the fish. Who knows? So you decide the where, okay? And what happens. The what is the different details that make up the story. That's the content. What happens? And it must be logical when you put it in order. It happens in that order, that, da da that, da da that, da da that, da da. It must be in order. Okay, it must make sense when somebody else reads it. So the rule of thumb is read out your work aloud first before having someone else to read it. You will actually hear if it makes sense. Okay. Then next, how do the events unfold? The points from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first, I got up. Next, I left the room. 2, I went to take a shower. 3, I got dressed. 4, I left the house. So you can see the progression of events. For each point that I give, I'm doing something different, but it's moving along in the story, right? And why does each event happen? There must be a cause or effect, right? So you jumped over the wall because a dog was chasing you. There must be a reason why this happened. Okay? So this is an example to help you structure your story. Next, create your own story outline using the same method. Each time you start a new point, raise a finger. So using those 5 fingers, it will really help you to put your story together. And here's a top tip. Use sequence words such as first, then, next, after that, finally, to create a clear structure for your story and make it exciting for your listener. Okay, make it exciting. So let's play this game. Okay, so Paulina, you're here with us. I'm glad to have you here finally. Mylika, you're here. So the three of us, let's play a game. We're gonna play a game using those top tips so that our listeners, our little kiddies, can understand how to go about doing this, right? So let's start with something. So I'm gonna start. First, I put water in the pot. Mylika,
Then I added the salt.
Paulina,
Then I light the stove.
we're supposed to say next.
The next,
Next, I light the stove.
Okay, so let's start over. Let's start over. Now
oh,
remember, we are
we're
following
not,
the same
yeah,
tips that they gave. Okay, so you see how it's done.
yeah.
So let's go. First, I put water in the pot. Malika,
Then I added the salt.
Polina,
Next, next, I light the stove.
and after that, I put macaroni in the pot. Woohoo! And then Malika,
Finally, the macaroni was ready. I took it out of the pot.
so this entire story, first, next, first, then next, after that, and finally, basically told the story of what?
The
Food
cooking
being cooked,
pasta.
right? Yeah, that's what the
Yes,
story told. So this is an
basically.
example of a top tip that you can use to do your writing. And this is specifically for the juniors, that is, those people under 14. So try this game with your siblings or with your parents or guardians and see how it works out with your writing. Okay? Now let's go to senior. Polina, take this one.
Okay, it says that use your imagination to consider different perspectives. Number one, think about the great leaders from the Commonwealth, your country, and from your community. Number two, what qualities and characteristics do they embody? Number three, how would you apply these qualities to a current problem affecting your community? Number four, write a story, poem, or essay based on these observations. Fancy a challenge? With the same story in mind, now write it in a different form. If you wrote an essay the first time, try experimenting with a poem or even a dynamic play. Yay!
Now, I like that. I really like that. So this really takes it up a notch for the seniors, right? So we're talking about sparking a story, and this takes some serious imagination or even just a little imagination, right? So here's what we're saying. We're saying that you can write either a story, a poem, on an essay, or an essay, sorry. So let us say you decided to write a story. Now, if you're writing a story, you know that the story has to be believable. And the story would be basically made for TV when you read that story, right? And then what we're saying is try it in a different form. So you're going to look at the story and try to write it in the form of a poem. How would it come out? And let me just say, not all poems need to rhyme. The lines don't always need to rhyme in the poem. However, it needs to make sense. There are different types of poems, so do your research before doing that. Or if you decide to switch from essay to poem, you can do that as well. And when you talk about a play, you're talking about people speaking words out loud. So it's no longer just somebody reading words on paper, it's actually being put into action. And who better to give an experience of that than Polina? Polina, please share with our senior writers what it's like being a part of a play.
Well, actually, I think being part of a play is a way to be able to express your thoughts and your feelings, and most importantly, express yourself. It helps you get out of your mind, get out of think out of the box, and be able to demonstrate what you want others to feel and think and see in a creative, dynamic way. So basically,
And
it's very
and Polina knows
interesting.
because she has experience. So Polina, can you please share with our listeners and viewers the type of experience you have when it comes to dealing with plays and stories?
Well, actually, I recently was part of the movie, which was in St. Lucia, entitled Paradise in Love, where we had to run through it a lot to get it to perfection. So that is the same way as writers, you're going to have to do it over and over and over if you want to have the best piece and the winning piece to get it into perfection, to make it feel and sound good and real to the readers. And also, I was in Gopoel Part 1 and 2 as well, where we had a lot of training, not just training of the words, but your voice, your body language, and that kind of thing to improve the way you present the finished product, the finished work, so your readers and your viewers could enjoy it to the max. So basically, it's a lot of hard
Wow.
work, but it's worth it.
So So, people, you heard it. She has a lot of experience in dealing with plays because she was part of a play, an actual dramatic play that aired live on television. I watched it. I myself, I watched it, right? So, think of your story and think of who would you like to give your story life. And by doing that, you're able to choose the characters in the story. Who will play those roles that you have? Who will play the role of daddy? Who will play the role of mommy? And those people have to act out the story that you would have written. And trust me, that is a really excellent way to show your creativity by putting together a play. Children do it all the time. I'm not sure if it's still being done, but in my time, it was called the elocution contests, where the different classes would participate. Um, Paulina, can you tell me, is that still being done, the elocution contest?
Not really.
Oh, wow. So, people, we need to bring these things back to life. This is what really evokes creativity in our young persons, right? Aside from the academics, there's the creative aspect as well. All right. So, this is the end of our presentation. And we again want to thank you for taking the time to watch the presentation, to get to know about this year's theme, to also get to know about the topics for both the junior and the senior categories. If you missed out on what those topics are, if you joined this late, those of you who are watching on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, if you missed out on anything, not to worry, we will be posting that information on our Facebook page so that you can know what those topics are. Okay. Now, another great achievement that Slantera was able to accomplish is being part of the St. Lucia Nobel Laureate Festival. That was a great achievement on our part, and we are now an official event as part of the festival because the organizers understood the need for this type of recognition of writers to take place. I do apologize. I have a call coming in, but I'll get to it shortly. So, this is something that you can expect to see every single year. Okay, every single year you can expect to see this award ceremony taking place for our young writers, and we're very honored to be hosting it. And we're very honored and thankful to the St. Lucia Nobel Laureate Committee, especially the chair, our previous Governor General, Dame Paulette Louisi, who is the chair of the committee. We want to say thank you publicly to her for adding our event to the calendar for the St. Lucia Nobel Laureate Festival. So look forward to our next award ceremony, which will take place in the month of January, where we will be celebrating and awarding our 2022 winners. Okay, so look out for that. But before we can honor anyone, our kids need to participate. Okay, so parents, guardians, principals, teachers, encourage your students to write and participate in the competition. I highly encourage it. Okay. Now, of course, I did say we will be introducing you to our official site. So this is the site where we host our previews of the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. And I'm going to share that with you right now so you can see what it's like. We are very proud of this site, very proud of our young writers, so proud of them. And I will be showing you who they are. Okay, so this is the website. It's called the St. Lucia's Queen's Commonwealth Essay Writers. And this is the site where we feature our young writers. And of course, the first image, the first background image that you see there are of our last year's participants. Okay. So we had from the convent school, the Babono Secondary, Viewfort Secondary, Leon Hess Secondary, and of course, a previous Sir Arthur Lewis Community College student. So here it will give you a brief idea as to what Sled Terra does for our national winners. So in January each year, which commenced in 2019, the awardees of the annual Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition are being recognized for their written accomplishments. Youth in St. Lucia, who emerge as national winners of gold, silver, and bronze awardees, are provided a platform through which their entries can be heard and publicly recognized. The awardees also receive tokens and prizes from various partners and supporters. Sludterra accomplishes this by working in collaboration with businesses and, of course, other partners. So the photo you see here is the very first event where we honored our winners. So we had Miss Khadija Halliday. She was, like I said, a past student of Sir Arthur. Then we had Deandre. Then we had Deandre Howell. Then we had Kishel Ogis. Then we had, oh my gosh, I can't, I'm trying to remember the names, but I can't. So I'm not going to go by the photo. I'm not going to go by the photo. But this is the part that we most are proud of. You can get to see videos of our students reading their entries. Each year, you will get to see and listen to those winners, those participants, and the pieces that they, of course, produced. So in 2018, these are each of our awardees. All you have to do is to click on the video to play, and you can hear them reading their entry. Okay? So this is Keishel, Azoya, um, oh my gosh, I can't remember her name, and Khadijah. Okay? And this is the 2019 awardee. So all you have to do is to click on the various tabs to see who the awardees were and to play their videos. Okay, so in 2019 we had 2 persons. In 2020 we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons. And in 2021 last year we had these young, wonderful girls right here. So you're noticing a trend in those photos, right, Paulina? You're noticing a trend somewhere?
Yes.
What trend are you noticing?
Some of them have been doing it each year. They are consistent. Some of the students.
But the trend I see is only girls.
Malika, what else do you
only
notice?
Girls.
What else?
Only girls.
They're only girls. Yes, they're only girls. Come on, boys. We want to see you up there. We want to see you up there. We want to recognize you too. We know you have skills. We know you have the skills. We want to recognize you. So, young boys out there, 18 and younger, please participate this year. I want to see some entries from boys this year. I do. I do want to see some entries from boys for this year. Okay. And also another trend that you will see that our events has a donation page. We have a donation section, and this section is open to everyone who has access to the site to donate to our young persons, because we want to be able to provide them monetary support for their advancement of their work, for the advancement of their knowledge. We want to be able to provide them with that. So if you would like to invest, okay, in the arts, in the written word, in the advancement of young persons in St. Lucia who are writing, who have a passion for this, we're advising you and asking you to donate. You can donate anywhere from $50 to $200 and up. You can decide. And of course, we would not be able to do any of what we do without our partners. Again, thank you so much to the St. Lucian Nobel Laureate Festival Committee, the Writers Forum for embracing our students and allowing them to actually read their entries at their various meetings. Thank you so much to Calabash TV. Without Calabash TV, we would not be able to have the videos that you see there because Calabash is where they record our girls reading their entries and basically performing them for you. So thank you to Calabash TV. Thank you to Trophy Center. They are the ones who provide us the medals that we um, present to our writers at the ceremony. Thank you to the Ministry of Education for, of course, endorsing this particular initiative and our program to honor and recognize our young persons. Thank you to Computer World for providing the prizes or some of the prizes that they have given over the past 2 years. Sanu, Arnold Henry, the published author or published author who resides overseas. He is also a sponsor. Rituals Cafe, thank you. KFC, thank you. Just Driving School, Belly's Mix It Up, Domino's Pizza, 758 Books, Easy Click Books, and Songtree. Thank you for your support of this annual initiative. We want to thank you again and again and again for supporting this and for, of course, helping us to find and recognize our next St. Lucian Nobel laureate in literature. So I'm going to place the link of the website in the chat so that you can visit the website yourself and, of course, take a look and listen to the posts and the entries of our young writers. Malika, um, can you please share? Do you have any final words for our young persons to encourage them to apply?
Yes. I guess all of them have seen that we only have young ladies applying. We would really try to encourage the young boys. We know they too have an imagination as well. Please don't pass up this opportunity because I couldn't make it to London, but you can. Yes. Please, everybody, please ask your children, your friends, your family, students, whoever you think that's in the age of 18 and under to participate in this competition.
Yes, so you heard it from her. You heard it. So we are encouraging both girls and boys. And this is not just open to persons who are in school, because I do know that there are certain young persons who are not in school. Yes, we're asking you to apply. Now, there are two ways to go about doing this. You could apply by entering as an individual, okay, and you can upload your entry or have your parent to upload the entry for you. So you can enter as an individual, but you can also enter as part of your school. Now, the way to do this is that the principals would, of course, encourage the teachers to collect the entries from their students and submit on their behalf as a class. So at least that way, you have several entries coming from that one school, I mean, represented in the competition. That can actually increase the rate of our writers getting to the finals. The more writers we have participating, that is represented by an entire school body, the better it is for us as a people and the better it is for the students. So I highly recommend that principals encourage your teachers to have the students write and enter, provide their entry so that they can submit their work on their behalf as part of the body of a school. But if you don't want to do it that way, like I said, you are free to enter as an individual and just upload it yourself. That's fine as well. Okay? And of course, if you have any questions about the competition, feel free to visit our or the Facebook page. I've put the link in there. That is the St. Lucia Queen's Commonwealth Essay Writers Facebook page is in the chat. So you can feel free to go to that page and message us there if you have any questions or queries. That is also where we'll be posting the topics and the theme for this year, and where you go to submit your entries. Okay? So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for being part of this wonderful celebration, this launch that we had. Thank you, Mylika, for joining me today and for being a part of this momentous occasion. Um, Thank you to our viewers on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. Please share this video, this broadcast with others so that they can see what they missed. So our colleague Paulina had to leave. She has, of course, her duties to attend to. She's a teacher. So she could only stay with us for a short period of time. So I want to thank Paulina for joining us today. So on behalf of Team Slud Terror, on behalf of the committee that is putting together this initiative and this ceremony for our young students in St. Lucia, on behalf of the Royal Commonwealth Society in the UK, who I am the promoter of the Queen's Commonwealth competition for on behalf of, I would like to say I encourage you to participate this year, as many of you as possible. Share your thoughts, share your opinions, share your experiences. We would love to hear from all of you. Okay? So thank you, everyone, and have a blessed afternoon. Take care.